talking about the experience of a small scholarly publisher trying to sell to consortia globally, really. I'll try to focus on India, China, and Brazil. First, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about our publication program. We have 3 scientific journals, the Journal of Nutrition, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a new review journal, Advances in Nutrition. The research journals are highly ranked. They're well established. JN was first published in 1928, AJCN 1952. We have international authorship. More than 50% of our submissions are from outside the United States. We have global usage, especially in some of the emerging markets that we're looking at. Titles are sold individually to institutions and to consortia, and they're also sold in a slightly discounted package, the Nutrition Science Collection. So staffing, we're a small society. We have 18 full-time staff, 7 are in the publications department. We usually have 2 or 3 interns at any point in time, and they're actually hugely helpful in marketing campaigns. Although we have a marketing and communications division within the society, they are focused strictly on membership, recruitment and retention, and marketing programs and other activities of the society. So all the marketing and subscription management takes place in the publications department. We do have a phenomenal subscriptions manager who does a wonderful job in managing our subscriptions and also in promotional campaigns. And we work together on developing the marketing plan and the marketing strategy for consortia sales. So we feel that really to expand the distribution of our journals at this point, it's essential that we sell to consortia. U.S. is obviously a mature market. We are focusing our efforts there on retaining subscriptions. But as far as expanding distribution and subscriptions, it's the foreign markets, and the most effective way for us to do that is to sell to consortia, not to individual institutions. Our goals are to maintain and protect current holdings in the areas, to expand access and usage, and to increase revenue. So to give you some background, we started selling to consortia about 7 years ago. We launched the program with an agreement with e-licensing, headed up by David Charles. Probably many of you know him. His territory is Europe, and that was very, very successful for us. We saw good growth year after year. At this point, it's a fairly mature market for us, so we don't see a lot of potential, although there is some. And we will continue to work with David on targeted campaigns in Europe. In 2006, we were approached by CAPAS, and we were able to negotiate an agreement with them, eventually with the help of David Myers, who's actually, thank you. You've made it a really low maintenance consortium for us, and that's appreciated. And in 2008, we worked with Charlesworth to negotiate an agreement with NSTL, and again, Charlesworth was absolutely critical in helping us, in educating us and helping us understand the realities of that market. We signed a 3-year agreement that began in 2009, and we renegotiated that agreement in 2011. So we were in Europe, Brazil, and India, and we're constantly looking for ways to launch efforts in the rest of the world. We had early on formed a relationship with a group of Highwire Press associated publishers to try to collaborate on marketing efforts. In 2010, about 21 publishers formed the International Scholarly Publishers Group, and we hired Dragonfly Sales and Marketing, which is headed up by Tom Taylor, to represent us and to find good agents for us in different markets globally. So because we already had some relationships established in certain markets, right now Dragonfly is representing our negotiations with agents in consortia in Latin America, India and the Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. Last year, we did negotiate an agreement with a CALL consortium in Australia and Kesley in Korea. These are small agreements. We hope the participation of institutions in those agreements increases in 2012. And this year and next year, we're highly focused on India and the Middle East especially. We have some firsthand experience in India. Was able to go to India in February and establish some relationships that have already been very beneficial to us in terms of sales. We can also tell from our members and usage that these are important markets for our journals, which are nutrition, agriculture journals. There's a high degree of interest in the content there. So at this time we have a mix of consortia types, I guess. We have academic consortia that include public libraries. We have consortia that include research institutes. We also have consortia agreements with pharma companies and other corporate consortia. Our revenue has grown from 0 in 2002 to an amount that is 12% of our subscription revenue at this time, which is really a very significant amount of money for us. It has more than offset the declines that we've seen as a result of consolidation of subscriptions at academic institutions and just cancellations. Okay, I'm going to skip these. This is just a representation of our agent network. So we're pretty well covered at this point. The agreement with the arrangement with Dragonfly is new. So we're just, I think, beginning to see some results of those negotiations. But at this point, it looks like for these emerging markets, we really need to give it another couple of years before we see some really significant results. We're not marketing to Africa at all. We provide free access to most of the countries in Africa, and that market is just not developed to the point where we're even thinking of selling subscriptions. I'd like to talk about the challenges that we've experienced as a small publisher, and then some of the conclusions that we've reached that help guide all our activities now. Consortia definitely prefer to negotiate with publishers that have many titles. I think early on in India, that's the large commercial publishers really were able to lay a strong foundation and really sort of take up most of the funding that was available for consortia at that time. But now there definitely seems to be an awareness of the value of scholarly publications. The journals of scholarly societies definitely see an awareness of the quality of those publications. And especially in China, there's a huge emphasis placed on impact factor. So those things do help, I think, small publishers that have core journals that are important to particular academic programs to get the attention of consortia. I think that happened in NSTL for us. We went in on our own, and it happened with CAPAS as well. But small publishers can band together and with groups and form collectives, as we've done with ISPG, and I think the ALPS Learned Journal Collection is another opportunity to do that. Those arrangements come with their own challenges. It's very hard to get a group of independent publishers to agree on terms, pricing models. It's been really very interesting working with ISPG. Everyone, I think, in the group is very determined to make it work. So we have weekly conference calls with Tom Taylor, who is representing the whole group. And it's just been a lot of work, but I think we're all learning a lot about what it takes. Because of the involved negotiations, consortia deals really require local face-to-face meetings. It's a reason to have a relationship with an agent. It's just not something you can do long distance, and it's something that can't be done in one meeting. And there are huge regional differences and differences between consortia that require a lot of attention. They can affect the timing of negotiations, the type of negotiations. In China, there are 2 or 3 really big consortia, which, you have one approach for those negotiations. In India, there are many, as you saw in Kara's slide, medium to small consortia, and you need to know about those consortia and really develop a strategy that is almost unique for each consortium in particular. So pricing models, we found you cannot really go into a negotiation thinking that you have a model that's based on the number of institutions. Some are related to your subscription price and the number of institutions, but others are based strictly on the funding available to the consortium, and it's a take it or leave it. Some of them are very deep discounts that are often beyond the comfort level of a publisher. Our approach has really been to just try things. As long as it was consistent with our goals and did not seem like it would affect or jeopardize our current holdings, we're inclined to give things a try. Another challenge has been just communication and market intelligence. When you have a network of agents, it's hard to feel that you're in the loop a lot, and it takes a lot of effort on the part of the publisher to write and resend emails and be persistent about knowing where they are in the schedule of visiting consortia. Who's on the list? Where are they in the negotiation? 1 minute. All right. Thank you. Okay, so a few conclusions. I think Adrian and David have made it clear you need agents. You just can't get that kind of assistance and intelligence without a really good agent acting on your behalf. But equally important, I think you need to support the work of your agents by providing the data, like Adrian mentioned, for example, on your authorship, your readership, your membership, if you have relations with any scientific societies in the area, your content. If you have a paper that is written by a group in China, that's something to let them know about. You should have allocations in your marketing plan for staff time and resources to support these types of activities. Kara mentioned usage stats are very important. They're looked at before a sale. They're looked at after a sale. Capus publishes stats on their website, the cost per download and things like that. So anything you could do to increase usage. Be flexible. When we started working with NSTL, we said absolutely no to the dark archive, and after several communications with Adrian, we saw that was not such a dangerous thing. So we're doing it. We're facilitating it.
Contracts as well. There's a bit of give and take in both sides.
Right, and that was an in-person negotiation for the renewal, which and that's my next point. If you have any opportunity to meet with librarians, consortia leadership, faculty members, students, do it. There are tours arranged by various vendors, but you can do it yourself. If you have members, if you have an agent in the area, you can set up your own meetings with their assistant. And lastly, just be realistic and patient. I think now the time frame that we have for the development of a successful negotiation is 3 years. If we don't see something really positive in 3 years, then we're ready to at least put it on hold. And markets evolve. I think 4 years ago, India wasn't a great opportunity for publishers, but it is now. Okay. Thank you.